I'm Pete Halo. I'm being led by the Lord, inspired, having written Rider on the Pale Horse after my bout with the Wuhan virus in the fall of 2020 through the spring of 2021. I survived the virus and overcame the 70 days that I lived through in coma. And this is a book about this, inspired by the Lord, to write about my episodic travels that the Lord took me to in the 70 days of my coma. This is a book that I just published this year, inspired by the cover given to me of a drawing that's on page. I'll be referring to the book quite a bit as I'm teaching out of the book, instructed by my Lord. On page 155, Lord told me to take that drawing that an inmate and I were incarcerated where we were, and it's on page 156 in the book. And then he told me to put it on the front cover of the book and allude to it as page 155 in the book. And this is after I preached and spoke to them in the prison, the chapter 6 of Revelation, encompassing the rider on the green horse. And as it's called there, the rider on the pale horse. But the point being that he was influenced to want to make that drawing after hearing the words of Revelation, John's Revelation chapter 6. And so it was a very important moment for me where I recognized that this was an important message that a lot of people aren't hearing today about the famine that's come and coming and the pestilence that's associated with it. And of course, we go into all of this throughout my time with you in revealing the rider on the pale horse. That's chapter 26 in this particular book. Excuse me. I'd like to make mention of the fact that we'll open with a prayer to have the Lord's anointing in my speaking with you throughout our time together. U pauembreta huperamon prosechomenoi kai tomeroi hina plero tete ten epignosen tu telematos tu, that I pray without ceasing and ask the Lord to fill you with the knowledge, full knowledge of His will. And in particular, in this prayer, in Passe Sophia and all the wisdom, Kai with the Sunesai, understanding, Pneumatike, that's the spirituality. So we'll open with that prayer and indicate that we'll begin right here in the prologue of the book, a very important part of the book, pointing to the fact that right off the bat, the Lord was with me, encompassing the Wuhan virus in the hospital as I was alone. And yet he indicated to me very clearly out of the Hallel Psalm 118, Yeshur ya rani yach velav mavet lo netanani. And that is that the Lord had chastised me severely, but he had not given me over to death. That's Psalm 18, verse 18. So it's understood that this is not a near-death experience book whatsoever. But on the contrary, it's about living through the coma the episodic loop where I was, where I can say it's a place without time, needing no sleep, and one in which it was sunlight all the time of my experience in the 70 days in coma. And when I came through at one point, May 27th of 2021, the Lord indicated that He wanted me to write about this book as soon as I can get rehabilitated. And I will point out that being healed was being placed in a very special scenario with the Lord, where He encompasses the healing in totality. One that is depicted in Thessalonians 5:19. It's in actually that order that healing takes place. And there's one in the spirit, that would be the pneuma, and then the soul, that'd be the mind. And then finally, at the other end, of course, is coming out physically intact. So we'll be covering that as well in relation to what the Lord has shown me. It's His mercy in touching us with His complete healing. His involvement is a complete healing of the person in all those three categories. And in particular, when we go through it, you'll see in part 2 that the order is exactly as it's written in the Word, Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 19. Quite interesting. So it's a story overall of incomparable, threat of death, brink unto death, being brink to death, and being in the hands of the Lord throughout all this period. And one in which case has been revealing to me since my recovery significant layers that we can peel through to understand fully what is the time that we're living in. Now, the drawing that was handed to me as an example, again pointed out in this book on page 155, was a prophecy of the rider on the pale horse, the fourth rider of the horseman, apocalypse horseman, and is the current rider, joining the other three. But as an example, when I received that drawing, the Lord now has shown me that was a prophecy for me. This would have been chapter 26. I would encounter this in perhaps November of 2020, and no later than March of 2021, I was now in the hospital facing being put on the ventilator, and one which had a very low probability of recovery. And yet the Lord was with me in spirit completely in that moment. This is my prologue. And with that in mind, I was visited by some very close friends of mine. And they had asked me, to read in Spanish to them. And which I was in at that time in Corinthians. And so I did read to them la que negunta de las gobernantes de este mundo conocido, porque si la hubieran conocido, nunca habrían crucificado al Señor de Gloria. So we were reading, indicating that if the rulers of this age had only known, they would not have crucified the Lord of our glory as it is. So they were then with me, and that leads to my first chapter in the book, which is no heart of man imagined, which is the conclusion of that verse. And I'll indicate como está escrito, as it's written, cosas que ojo no vio, no oído oyó, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, ni hand percibido, nor imagined el corazón del hombre, the heart of man, son las, the things que Dios had preparado, had prepared para aquellos que, for those that love him, la aman. So with that in mind, that leads us right into the first chapter and indicates what's ahead, because I'm now being faced with looking at eternity, and the Lord visited me right at this moment and indicated that I was in his care. I'll conclude tonight with that in mind and just say that the next time we'll get into chapter 1 and be in the position to begin the study of the visions that I had encountered in my loop, endless loop. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to talking to you real soon.